Good evening, welcome to Vanguard Rovers, game week 14 and 15. We're going to quickly touch on the results from this week and then dive into our predictions. I'm joined with Phil.
I do.
Nathan's missing, but the goals weren't missing this weekend. Well, this week, were they? Some absolute mental games. Your boys got a
Ironing.
nice little win there, Phil, tonight. Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah, do you know what? It was 2-0, but probably one of the most boring games of the week, to be fair. It was, serious lack of jeopardy for him and a really workmanlike performance, to be honest, kind of exactly what we need with sandwich between Chelsea and Villa. So yeah, a lot of rotation, a lot of different positioning and stuff, but Brentford never really created anything apart from that one chance from the corner, and yeah, it was just comfortable, really. Um, Job done. So, which was interesting because I also wanted to watch the boys, but like I said, far more interesting matches to watch going off at Anfield and Ellen Road, and and the 9 goal monster that Fulham and Manchester City played out for us as well, which was just the night before, which was just unbelievable. So, really good games this week.
Chelsea
Lots
get
of
beat as well.
Yeah, I think lots of crazy results. I think we were chatting off air before, weren't we? And, so many teams have rotated to try and cope with this 3 game week. It's really thrown patterns of play and kind of consistency into question for a lot of teams, really. And for some teams it's worked, and we just touched on there, if it worked for Arsenal. For some other teams it's backfired. With I think Chelsea replacing their back line that did so well against us at the weekend, and then fumbling itself at Ellen Road, which was always a risky place to do it when Leeds are going to be fired up for that game. So yeah, they've all tried very similar things, but it's led to really interesting results off the back of it, really. So,
Yeah, I think Chelsea were angered a lot of people. I think they were the bet buster for the night. I think everyone else
well, them
got
and I assume Liverpool for most people as well. To be
yeah.
honest, I mean, and they were doubly lucky, weren't they? To be fair, I mean the I know both goals were deflections, but their goal was good. Their goal was going well and truly wide when Verts hit it, and poor Isidore, it was the fairy tale written, and unfortunately fluffed his lines, didn't he? So yeah, it was. They've got away with a. I think you would say that they've got away with a point at Anfield again. So um, yeah, really big results, and well, what we want to see really. There's lots of fire, fury, goals, tackles. Exactly what we want. So it's been really
It
good.
summarises the Premier League perfectly, doesn't it? Villa 4-3 winners as well. Just
It was a
crazy
crazy
amounts of
game going
goals.
2-0 down. It looked like it was a really tough. I mean, all I'm hoping for from that one is that they had to. I didn't watch it because I was watching the Arsenal match, but I'm just hoping that puts some miles in their legs, pulling that back, and a bit more of a stressful game than they would have wanted. Obviously, it's not ideal for Arsenal or Villa. The fact they've played on Wednesday and they've got the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. It's a lot less than ideal, but I'm hoping that result puts some miles in their legs, a few more than they were hoping to. I think they'd much rather that was a for all I said the Arsenal match was boring. It's kind of, you want boring when you've got such a big match on Saturday. I'm sure Villa didn't want 4-3 thriller when they were trying to save something for the weekend. But you can only play the match you're given, can't you? They got the win. It was a really good fight back. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we may as well get straight into the predictions then off the back of that. And obviously, your boys travel to Villa this weekend, Phil. When do you see
tell me
it?
about it. Well, I mean, I think we're on to the third or fourth string lineup. To be honest, we've got that many injuries now coming out of here, there, and everywhere. But it does seem that, touch wood, most of the injuries from Wednesday were precautionary rather than injuries. So from what I hear, Declan Rice is fine. Mosquera will either be fine or Timber will play centre back. It's not ideal. Saliba might be back. It's not ideal, is it, having both your first choice centre backs out. Um, Although still managing, I was saying to you before, wasn't I, still managing to set the record, the defensive record for consecutive games without conceding 3 goals. So it's some. For anything else you said about Arteta, he's built them into a winning machine, hasn't he? So I think, I don't really know. I know we touched on last show Villa how much rotation they did for the week. So I'm kind of thinking it doesn't really matter. They have a much harder match than Arsenal did on Wednesday. I do think our team is firing better than theirs. But I do think Emery gets in Arteta's head. He always got a point to prove against Arsenal, and obviously it wasn't ideal for us. Watkins getting a bag in a couple of goals on Wednesday, because that's ominous. Because he's again another one who causes us painful memories. But I think usual Joe. I think Arsenal are a very different machine now. I think there'll be enough in the Arsenal team to break down Villa, and I think defensively we're even more solid than we were last year. But I do think Villa are an unbelievable run of form. Um, but Villa tend to do worse coming out of. If you class the midweek games is almost like European games. Villa tend to do worse than Arsenal after a midweek game.
Yeah,
I think Arsenal, there's been a lot of talk this season about the depth of Arsenal's squad. And I think even Nate, when he's here, has commented a few times, Villa's first string 11 is up there with anybody's. But actually, once you start getting into the second string, it's maybe not got the quality that gives Emery quite so much depth off the bench. Although I think Marlon's obviously having fun and doing well this season. Um, Conser's obviously playing really well. Um, but I think our wingers will have some joy against their fullbacks, and I think they'll be up for it because it's a big match for us really to maintain. Man City haven't got a very well, it's not a very difficult match. They certainly don't have the caliber of opposition we do. Um, so that I think it's a very tough match and a very close match. But I do think that Arsenal will take the win because why would I not? Arsenal 2, Villa 1.
oh, right. So I've got Nathan's predictions and I've got my own as well already written down. So I've gone for a 2-1 Arsenal win, and Nathan's gone for
Oh,
Nathan's gone for a 1-1 draw.
that always means he's worried. He never likes backing against his beautiful Villa boys, but he's always worried when he calls them out for a draw.
So yeah,
But
I just think you'll just have a bit too much for Villa. I mean Villa conceded what, 3 the other night. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and obviously your defense is the hardest in the Premier League to break down. The amount of goals conceded, the record says everything. So I think they'll
Mhm.
struggle. I do think they'll score, but I think if they do score, it'll just be one. I think you'll win 2-1.
Hopefully, hopefully. But
Yeah,
it'll be a really tough match. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's just a good match because obviously off the back of Wednesday, I'm hoping they don't just, you know what I mean. They both blame a bit of tiredness and a bit. I'm hoping it's a good game, but yeah, we'll
it's
see.
what it's 12:13. It's a good start to Saturday. To be fair. Um,
The sad start to the weekend if Arsenal lose, but we won't, so it'll be fine.
no, you should be. I do think you'll win. We've got Bournemouth, Chelsea. Chelsea obviously losing 3-1 against Leeds. And yeah, do you reckon they'll come back off the back of that?
It's
Will be?
it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, Bournemouth were looking amazing if you go back about 5 weeks, and then they've had an absolute horror show 5 weeks, and I know they've had some difficult matches in there. But kind of Everton was an interesting one midweek because that was kind of the match you looked at and go, "Do you know, it's the first time they've played opposition in the lower half for a month. This is their chance to bounce back. Semenyo's back. I know they were missing Senesi at the back with suspension, weren't they? But
Yeah,
they didn't create a great deal, and I know it was a deflected goal for Everton, but even so, they still couldn't get a goal. Um, so it's a difficult one because I would naturally think that Bournemouth is a. We've talked about Chelsea kind of struggling to get up for the teams that their younger players might perceive as easier games, and I do think as good as Bournemouth are, I do think there's a chance that might be the Chelsea players' mentality. But I think after coming off the back of getting beaten by Leeds, they will want to stop that. And I also think it doesn't look like at the minute Bournemouth are in a very good place in terms of form. I think Semenyo's still struggling to come back from his injury, and they've really had a bad string of results. So I'd normally go for, but it's very really close. But I'm going to say Bournemouth 1, Chelsea 2. I think Chelsea will bounce back, um, and I think they'll have enough.
that's all three of us with the exact same prediction.
You say,
Yeah, yeah, all
goodness
three of
me.
us. So yeah, I do. I agree. I think Chelsea will. They'll have a bit of a bounce back after Leeds. Bit of a poor performance, but like I say, rotating players. It were inevitable something like that were going to happen at some stage. And goes back to the familiar thing that I've been saying all season about Chelsea's inconsistencies. So
Yeah, very much so.
yeah, but yeah, let's move on to Everton at home to Forest. Nathan's gone one apiece. I've gone 2-2 on this one as a draw as well. Phil, what about you?
There's not a lot between them, is there? I'll be honest. I was expecting more from Forest against Wolves. They sort of huffed and puffed and made hard work of. And I know you've got to expect Rob Edwards to have some sort of effect. And I know Wolves are at home, but I thought probably Forest were much further along the journey back towards redemption than Wolves would have enough strength to stop them. So I was surprised at only 1-0. I think Everton, um, they're not surprised me, but I think again, it did shock me really that they beat Bournemouth. I didn't necessarily think they'd do that. So it's got all the hallmarks of a it's got all the hallmarks of 0-0, hasn't it, written all over it? To be honest, but we haven't seen many 0-0s at all in the league this season. So um, I am torn, and I do have a soft spot for Forest and Sean Dyche. So I'll give it to Forest. I said Forest 1, Everton 0. But I think it's going to be a very boring game, whatever happens. I can't see there being a lot. There's not a lot of open play in David Moyes versus Sean Dyche. Is there? Like there's going to be a lot of mundanity, I would imagine. But I'll give it to Forest 1-0.
What about Man City at home to Sunderland, Phil? After this week,
Well, do you know what? Yeah, I mean, City can't defend for shit, can they? But they also can't stop scoring for fun. Sunderland, they've taken points off Arsenal, they've taken points off Liverpool. They must fancy the chance against anybody this season. The way they're playing, and let's be honest, they outplayed Liverpool. It's not like they were, you know. I know they ended up sitting deeper and deeper at Anfield, but they had the chance in the 92nd minute to win it, and at which point you would have gone looking at that's absolutely perfect game plan. Do you know what I mean? There's no joke in that approach, but they won't find it as easy against Manchester City, I don't think. As in Manchester City, I think are in a slightly better place than Liverpool, although Manchester City are also struggling defensively. But I don't think Manchester City struggle defensively if you go at them. I'm not sure Sunderland, if they open up and go at them, won't just ship a ton of goals. So it's difficult because I think Sunderland's only real hope is to sit in, and I don't think it's as easy to counter attack against Manchester City as it is against Liverpool. Um, so it's a tough one, but I think Man City are in such a free flowing vein of form at the minute. I think they'll make hard work of it. I think some will make it very, very difficult for them. But I just think Man City at the Etihad is a very different beast. So I think Manchester City 3, Sunderland 1.
Nathan's gone 2-0 City also for a City win. Um,
You want to. You just want to play the game, don't you? You can't
I've
change the results. What are you on for?
I've got I've got 2-1 written down here. I'm gonna go 2-1 Sunderland.
You've got 2 on Sunderland written down, have you?
Uh,
It's
it would
brave, brave.
just just be the Sunderland thing to do, wouldn't it?
I think you've got the wrong Northeast shirt on there, young man. I think you're wanting to wear red and white. I think they're winning you over.
Honestly,
I
it's
think
going to
life's
get to
not
the
black
point
and
where
white
we're going
for
to be
anyone.
battling out for fourth spot between Newcastle and Sunderland. It'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
Well, unless you lose out in that battle,
I know.
which means you're very, very sad.
What a battle that'd be, though.
It really
We've got
would.
the
It
time
really
where
would.
derby's coming up. To be fair, it's not far
It's
off.
not far away at all, is it? Although interesting, I think the Sunderland announced this week, didn't they, that all because they've got 7, I think, haven't they, players going to AFCON. All their AFCON players are committed to play in the Tyne and Wear derby before they go to AFCON. So they've got everybody for that game. So it will be. So at least that means it will be an absolute belter. I'm not sure you want it to be, but it will be an absolute belter because all the Sunderland players will be there and be available. So they'll certainly have some fire and spice to the festive period.
Yeah, that prediction show is going to be interesting, isn't it? Yeah, and make sure you
I
like and
think that will. I
subscribe
think that's
for
what they call you. I
that.
think that's what you'll call your head versus your heart, isn't it?
It depends what the points are. But yeah, yeah.
You're
Right,
going. So
so
let's get this right because if you snap back to Sean from 3 months ago, we're now saying that Sunderland are going to the Etihad and are going to win. Yeah, that's what you've said on camera for the world to see. That's what you believe.
just yeah, strange. The stranger predictions coming up,
I
Phil.
love Sunderland. I love what they're doing up there. I think the manager's doing an unbelievable job, but I can't see him going to the Etihad and winning. I just can't. But we shall see. That's what we
It's
play the
just
game for, right?
it's the
Yeah.
season of surprises, Phil, and there has been some surprises, and I think they'll continue. I mean, so yeah, we'll see. But
I hope so. To be fair, because I could do with them dropping some points. They're looking ominous on R6 at the minute. Um,
well, as we mentioned, Newcastle, I may as well go on to them. We're at home to Burnley this weekend, Phil. I've gone for a 4-0 win. I'm optimistic. Nathan's gone for a 3-0 win. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I can't see Burnley getting anything. I think 4-0 might be a bit of a stretch. I'm not
Wissa
sure
might
Burnley will.
feature.
I'm not sure that Burnley will let you be as free flowing as other teams have. And I think if they shipped one or two, I think they'd possibly just think about sitting in and trying to make sure it wasn't embarrassing. We know they can defend. Their issue this season, they can't score, and silly lapses in concentration. But I'm not sure I see them shipping four. I mean, anything's possible, isn't it? But it's been a long week it's been a long couple of weeks for Newcastle, hasn't it? It's obviously you played in Europe as well the week before. It's a lot of games. It's the sixth game in 12 or 13 days. Like
It's a bit ridiculous like that,
it's
yeah.
a lot, isn't it? Like so, six, one, two, three, four. Oh, sorry, fifth game in 12 or 13 days. So it's a lot. And so I think to expect when Burnley have only played three, I think it's a lot to expect them rampaging over them. But I do think Newcastle will have too much of Burnley. So let's say I think Newcastle 3, Burnley 1.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see because Wissa's back as well, so I'm hoping he features for
Not
half
had
an
any
hour.
game time, has he? So
No,
as good as he is, I always worry about players on their first couple of games back because we all want them back because you know how talented they are and how brilliant they are. But I think that he's not played for a long time, so to expect him to come on or come in and immediately hit the straps of his boots, I think that might be a big ask. But I do think it'd be great news for you guys to actually have him back to fitness and actually be able to start utilising him. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out in the next few games because obviously, does Eddie Howe try and work him into the starting lineup or does he see him as a goal threat to come on in the last 20, 30 minutes and leave
it's
Voltemada as
gonna
your
be a
primary
gradual
striker?
integration back into the team. You can't
I
just
just mean
expect
that
him to.
once you go through that iteration, what
Mm,
it'd be interesting Eddie Howe's snapshot today of going what obviously signed them both. So what does he see his actual idealised starting 11 being when they're both fit? Because I think that Voltemada is to some degree a little bit of a false nine stroke 10 rather than a number nine as such. But he's really suiting the way you're playing at the minute in terms of creation. He said he holds the ball up really well. I mean, I don't think it led to a goal, but there was one the other night where on Tuesday where the ball just dropped from the sky and he just like touched it dead and then and laid it off for someone to take a shot. And it was just the control was unbelievable. And he works really well for your players to bounce off him, whereas I'm not sure Wissa's that type of player. Wissa's more speed, kind of dynamism and very much a finisher. Wonder whether that fits Newcastle better as an option off the bench or even to play off Voltemada rather than being your lead striker. So it'd be interesting to just have a snapshot of Eddie Howe's mind, which we're not going to get. But no, great news to have him back because he's a cracking player, and everybody wants to see him playing.
and,
Apart from Brentford fans.
yeah, I mean, it, there's been whispers of Eddie Howe bringing back the 4-4-2, like, and
Stranger things have happened. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I
there's
mean,
a lot to be
look at the long
for
front
all
games that we're
these.
having this season. They've just come back out of
There's
the blue from what
you only
2002. Oh,
you only
so
realise you
yeah,
only realise as you get old the truth of the statement that life is cyclical and seasonal. Do you know what I mean? Everything has a day. Everything goes out of fashion, comes back into fashion. Because what happens is everybody is continually chasing change and continually chasing fine margins. And if everybody's gone one way, play it out from the back and 3-5-2 and all that shit, and then the people pushing the envelope going, well, let's not play out from the back and let's look at 4-4-2. So everything's cyclical, isn't it? It wouldn't
it's
be a
not
shock
doom
to
and
see
gloom,
people
is it?
start to bring it back. No, not at all.
But
Not
yeah,
at all.
yeah. Apparently, they have been working on something similar to that in training, like with Wissa playing off Voltemada and Voltemada dropping back into that false nine area. So, be interesting to see if it
The
does
old
happen.
Shearer and Sutton approach, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, worked in 92, 93. There's no reason it can't work today.
Like you say, things come back into fashion. So, guess we'll see. This is a nice one for you. This one, Phil. Spurs at home to Brentford. Frank's back.
Oh, the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. Um, I mean, honestly, your boys let them off the hook something awful on Tuesday. I mean, I genuinely had to double, triple, quadruple check my TV wasn't in slow motion for that Romero equaliser. I mean, even I thought could have driven to
Terrible.
Newcastle and caught that ball before it went over the line. I think everybody was just stunned. It like a, if you ever need a if you ever need a gift to go alongside the Frey in the world, just stood and watched. I mean, there's one for you right there. But
I could have
no, you
left
let
my
them off the hook.
house and drove to Newcastle and still got there before that ball crossed that line.
It was just bizarre, absolutely bizarre. You really let them off the hook because I mean you were so streets ahead, the better team. Um, but it's I think sorry, I'm distracted. I think West Ham might have just scored. Um, but there's lots of groans of disappointment coming from my front room right now from uh,
Keep
my
us updated.
family who are Manchester United fans. Um, so yeah, so I think you let them off the hook. I think there was. I mean, it was just bizarre. They scored 2 goals because they had nothing going forward. They looked so toothless, and yet somehow just managed to. And to some degree, I mean, for all as much as Tottenham fans will hate this, I mean, Tottenham fans I know love my opinion on Tottenham all the time, but but broadly speaking, I mean, they've looked at Arsenal and gone, "Oh, look, here's another way we can try and be like Arsenal because that's what we really want to be." It's like proper little brother syndrome Tottenham have got in it, and I think they've realised that maybe ignoring the Ange Postecoglou mentality of set pieces is not important. Might be a bit retarded when you can just go, "Hang on a minute, if we're good at set pieces, we can be totally shit like we were against Newcastle, but somehow we'll still come away with a 2-2 draw because we're just going to concentrate on set pieces." So I think broadly speaking, they've like I said, looked across North London and decided to copy us once again. Obviously, it's like Arsenal light, but still they can give it a go. So yeah, I think that's how they'll try and do it. I think Brentford will obviously have a point to prove because it's against their former manager. I think Brentford will feel they can get in their faces and rough them up. We know that Spurs lack fight. We know that Brentford are nothing but fight, discipline, organisation, teamwork. I think Tottenham are vulnerable at the back from set pieces. Although I think Brentford might be vulnerable to some of the counter attacking from Tottenham. But the Spurs are shit at home, aren't they? Like genuinely dreadful at home. They probably fear being at home more than being away. So I think it's the pressure of that empty trophy cabinet. I think it worries them. I think it gets on their mind and plays on it a bit. But all that dust must be very off-putting. Um, but yeah, no, I think it's going to be an interesting game. Two very very different styles, but I think I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna say Spurs 1, Brentford 2. Long throw and corner for Brentford, I reckon.
Well, we've
You were
all
about
we've
to tell
all
me you've copied me again.
we've all gone the same. All three of us have gone the same on that one. We've all gone 2-1.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
Absolutely
so
brilliant.
yeah,
Wow. Well, you can't say we not have a reasonable mind. I mean, we come from very different backgrounds and very different takes on football, but somehow we're ending up at the same destination.
yeah. I guess we'll see. Interesting. It'd be a good game, that I think. To be fair, I won't mind watching that one. The highlights will be decent. Um, Leeds at home to Liverpool. Leeds obviously have just beat Chelsea 3-1 this week.
Do you know what?
Good performance.
You,
Farke saved himself a little bit of time, I think.
if you're a Leeds fan, and I know we've got one very very dedicated Leeds fan who is a huge supporter of this channel. So thank you, good sir, for that. But I think we might actually say something you like for once. To be fair, if you're a Leeds fan, you've got to fancy your chances, haven't you? I mean, they fundamentally just torn Manchester City apart for 45 minutes of football and completely played them off the park. They've absolutely annihilated a Chelsea team that was on a real high. I almost like I've got to get this in. I mean, I'm slightly amused to having to listen to a few days of social media about how Chelsea are absolutely better than Arsenal and dominated Arsenal and blah 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 blah. And 48 hours they're sat 9 points behind us again, with it having been smashed 3-1 by Leeds. So, but no, I think if you're a Leeds fan, you've got to be confident. You're at Ellen Road. Like I say, you've dominated Manchester City. You've dominated Chelsea. And you know that Liverpool are fragile. Like Liverpool do, the last thing Liverpool want right now is coming across the M62 and having to walk into the cauldron that is Ellen Road when they're really mentally not in a great place. Like it is a very very hostile atmosphere for a team that currently seem to be very very fragile. Sunderland gave them the runaround on Wednesday, and we're really unlucky not to leave Anfield with the points, all the points. So I think if you lead, you've got to fancy your chances, and I think Daniel Farke will really have them fired up for it. I think again, it's one of those where the team talk kind of writes itself. Look, boys, we've just put Manchester City under the pump for 45 minutes. We've just put Chelsea under the pump for 90 minutes. You get in these boys' faces, and there's every chance they're going to collapse. And I genuinely think that's the team talk. And I think if you lead, you've got to believe that. And I think it's a massive, massive test for Liverpool. Massive test for them at the minute for where they are. Because again, they didn't look confident on Wednesday. And I just don't think it's a game you would want when you're in that run of form with that kind of mentality. So massive, massive game, really. And I think Leeds have to look at it with confidence. Have to think they can do it. So I'm going to say Leeds 2, Liverpool 1. I know I keep backing Liverpool to turn this around, but they keep performance wise, they keep proving me wrong, and I worry for them going to Ellen Road. And Leeds are on a real, real high at the minute. So I'm going to say Leeds to take Liverpool down. Leeds 2, Liverpool 1.
Do you know what? I've gone against you. I've gone for Liverpool to win, but I kind of hope you're right. I kind of hope that Leeds do get something at home against Liverpool because, to your point, the team talk is easy, isn't it? You just go out and do the same again. You've played
So
some fucking
I'd
cracking.
also like. I know we've for those of us who stuck with us on the channel, we've debated it a few times about kind of Farker's job and stuff like that. And I know I argued against this kind of thing of an opinion, probably more of a social media opinion than an Ellen Road opinion. But Leeds are definitely going to get nothing from all these games. And actually, they've been their best performances of the season. They're in a fabulous place, and I do. You know me, I do think a lot about being loyalty should be a two-way streak. Fans are very very quick to moan at players and managers when they leave their club and don't show loyalty. But then conversely, they think it's okay to turn on the manager straight away and get rid of him. And I think from a Leeds point of view, back him. I think, like I said, the atmosphere at Ellen Road is going to be blinding in that match. And these are the matches they wanted to play in. So come on, Leeds. I think you can
Yeah,
do it.
I think even though
You're going for Liverpool, just to be clear.
I, yeah, I am gonna go for a
Is
Liverpool
that,
win.
is that because you're still secretly an Isak fan? Can you not quite get him
God,
off your mind?
oh
You're
God,
still hooked. You're going for an Isak double, an
oh,
Isak brace.
don't need this. It's been
You just
traumatic.
can't put him down, can you?
No, no, it's like a
It's
blanket, innit? Brighton at home to West Ham, Phil. Nathan's gone 2-1. I've gone for the 1-all
you
draw.
want to do right.
Brighton has gone for the Brighton win, yeah. Tough one to predict
Yeah,
this
I
one, I
mean,
think.
I mean, it's like fire and ice, this, isn't it? Like we've talked a few times about Brighton. They create chances all the time. They always look like they're going to score. They're a massive goal threat, whether they win or lose the game. They create chances. They're always scoring goals. So they're definitely, you get your money when you go and watch Brighton, don't you? I mean, they're super exciting. West Ham, because I know there's still the Man United match is still ongoing while we're filming this, and like I watched the first half, absolutely just nothing going forward, and really offering very little. I know Nuno's been a lot more solid defensively, but they're just really struggling up top. Callum Wilson's not got the pace. Jared Bowen can't do on his own, and I just worry for him in this match really. And I think probably Brighton have got enough to take down West Ham. Although I do think they'll they're very open at the back. Brighton they don't look solid, but I think probably West Ham are defending really well. So Brighton 2, West Ham 1. Yeah, I don't like to agree with him, but I just think Brighton always look fragile at the back. But I do think they'll score more than West Ham. So
Yeah,
do you know what? We'll go 3-1, just so I've got a different score to Nathan.
playing the game, Phil.
Why not?
Got to
I've
be
got Danny
aggressive.
Welbeck in my fantasy football anyway, so I've got
Have
to
you
hope,
put him
haven't I?
in? Have you? Wow. Oh, been snarled at.
He's done me well this season, to be fair, for an old
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I think I've been knocked off top spot tonight as well. I'm devastated.
Have you?
Devastated. There's 1 point in
Must
it
have.
leading into the
Oh,
game.
was that all?
Yeah,
And you
one
didn't have
point.
anyone to play, did you?
No, somebody
Oh
did.
dear.
Uh, um,
Oh dear. Hashtag sad times.
what else we got? We've got Fulham at home to Palace. Um, I've gone for a 2-1 Fulham win. I think Fulham will be not too disappointed off the back of that result against Man City. I mean, what a performance! To be fair, what a
Unbelievable.
game.
It was
To come back like that.
absolutely, the character they showed, and then again, it was another fairy tale so close, wasn't it? And the Man City clearance off the goal line in the 97th minute, was it?
I
Like,
know, mental.
it was what a crazy game, and an absolutely fantastic fight from Marco Silva. One of those where it's glorious defeats, isn't it? It's like watching 300. Like, it's backs to the wall, and Marco Silva's got to be so proud of his team. And so it's one of those where the Fulham fans leave having lost the game and probably feeling like they've won it. A phenomenal performance in that last 30 minutes, to show fight and show character. Which, if you're going to lose, you want to at least see fight and character from your team, which they did.
Yeah, I
I
think
can't
sometimes
say
you
as
need
I
to
can
see
get
that as a fan, don't you? You need to see your team just like just
as much as the results all that matters at the end. There are ways to lose, aren't there? And you don't want to see them losing like wimps and like wet lettuces and just folding. You want to see that fight and that the badge means something. You want to know if you've lost. The other teams had to sweat blood and tears to take you down. And sometimes I think when teams fold, that's what pisses fans off because let's face it, even at the grand old age of knowing you're never actually going to physically play football, we would all kill to wear the badge of our fucking team and be out there playing. And I think it really pisses you off when you see players not putting that effort in because they're living your dream and then they're squandering it. So I think that Fulham fans can be very, very proud of what they did against City. I'm not sure I can quite get to the place where you did because I think Palace are a very well drilled, very well organised team with some really good players, um, and I think that Fulham put so much into that game against Manchester City. I think in fact, there might be a bit of a hangover off the back of it just because the sheer effort they had to put in to drag themselves back into it. It was a really hard fought effort, and
yeah,
they'll be drained at the end of it. And
it's a good
and when
point.
they and when it does settle at the end of that experience, you are still a bit of a down if you put all that effort in and came away having lost. Which we might be proud as fans, but as players, you've still lost the game, and you won't want to lose. No one wants to lose. Um, and I just think Palace haven't got that emotional come down to deal with, and Glasnow's got them almost emotionless in their drill and their drive and their organisation. So I think Palace will take that 2-1, possibly even 2-0. Let's go 2-0.
Uh, so yeah, Nathan 2-1, Phil
Although
2-0.
I hope Teta doesn't score because I've just binned him from fantasy football this week. So you know,
It's so difficult
it's
now
close
because
to
like
space.
everybody's got such a structured team now, and everyone's like just edging people point by point, and like
It was funny, wasn't it, on Tuesday? Because like there's a definite so in our league, folks. If you don't know, anybody's free to join. The code's somewhere down there at the minute, scrolling along. If you fancy joining and seeing
right
how
there now.
test your metal against any of us. But there's a very definite split in the league on Tuesday, where very clearly you've got like the top 10 players have all got Haaland and have all got him captained because at the end of night one, everybody was on 34 points because Haaland got 28 points, and everybody who didn't have Haaland is at the bottom on like single figures. You're like, oh, that's the people who just who are still trying to prove a point by not having Haaland, which is clearly in a point scoring game just mental. But but um,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
how painful
it's
was not using that triple captain the week before against Leeds? Can you imagine?
devastating. My only solace was that you wasted it at the same time as I did. so, um, so yeah, a couple of bits of tweaks, but yeah, so we'll see. I've just dropped Mateta. He's a bit too expensive for my liking at 8 million quid. Um, but I think, like I say, I think Palace take it. Let's go 2-0.
2-0 Palace. Nathan 2-1, me 2-1 Fulham. So yeah, points to be gained and lost there with that one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've got Monday Night Football 8 o'clock. We've got Wolves at home to Man United. Um,
A charity game, but for charity for who? That's the question. Because I'll tell you, again, I've not watched the second half, and we're filming this while the Man United second half's ongoing. But I don't think I've ever seen the Sky Sports struggle to get to such a low light reel in my
it's
life. Like
just
there was
finished
nothing
one
at all at
apiece.
half time. Nothing at all at half time. So yeah, it's
Yeah, it's just finished now. Phil, one apiece.
is that what it's gone to?
Yeah.
So it sounds about as interesting as it looks in the first half. To be fair, but Man United don't like playing at Old Trafford, do they? So which is a problem when you play at Old Trafford. But yeah, Wolves have got nothing, just absolutely nothing. They showed a bit more, maybe a bit more fight against Forest. Like I said, they made Forest work a bit hard for it, and maybe that's a hint that Rob Edwards was getting them drilled, if nothing else. But I still think they're getting drilled with a view to being organised to be in the Championship next season. sensible. I mean, just look how far adrift they are on the table. No one with any sort of grip on reality would put even a fiver on Wolves to stay up. Um, so it's going to be a struggle. But then Man United are capable of losing to anybody, aren't they? I mean, if we talked about this, that this kind of there's so many teams at the minute who are on this journey to redemption that is filled with potholes and ups and downs. And I think I was watching two or three different Sky Sports things over the last couple of days, and the word consistency keeps cropping up. Do you know what I mean? And kind of so many teams are struggling for consistency this season. And so Man United, I mean, Wolves, ironically, are one of the consistent teams. I mean, consistently shy, but consistently. So, but I think probably they are the polar opposite to Arsenal's consistency of victory, aren't they? Really, they're the two ends of the spectrum, and the table shows that. But Man United are capable of anything, aren't they? They're capable of going there and winning 5 or 6-0. They're capable of going there and getting turned over 1-0. Um, I'm torn. I mean, let's face it, we all love a good bit of Goldbridge clickbait, don't we? Man United get done over by a shit team. I mean, you kind of pray for it just for it's a great giggling. I mean, that man can light up a room with his reactions to football. But I think you've got to play the percentages. You've got to try and play it sensible. Wolves just look bad, and Man United, I think, won't be happy with a 1-1 draw at West Ham, and they have been very much bad result, good result, a lot through this season. So you've got to think Man United are going to win that game. So Man United 3-0.
Ooh, I've gone controversial, me, Phil.
No way. You can't possibly predict that Wolves win.
You said it
Oh my
yourself,
God.
1-0. You said you wouldn't be surprised if we
You,
saw
you,
1-0.
you, you know what? It wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world, because, like I said, Man United have got that sort of banana skin performance in them this season. I can't see it, but I will. I also wouldn't bet my house against you. So if anyone's capable of giving Wolves their first win of the season, it's Man United.
If anyone's going to give Amber on some shit, it's Rob Edwards. can just
This
see
is
it.
true.
Can just see it. Wolves will win
This is
one
true.
game this season. It'll be one nil to Man United. 1-0.
No, we've got the
Can
return
just see
fixture
it.
against Man United as well.
Yeah, well,
What's Nathan gone for?
Nathan's gone for a 2-0 Man United win.
So I
So
just think I just think playing percentages, that's what I would expect. But I mean, like I say, we all know the circus that surrounds Manchester United. Let's face it. And unfortunately for them, that's why everybody loves Man United having problems, because there's so much more media hype about it. Because let's face it, we are a bit like that in this country, aren't we? We like to we do like underdogs, and we do like to see favourites brought back to the pack, and kind of for some reason we just don't like we struggle to laud excellence in this country, don't we? And there's so much of it. You look at people our age and a little bit older, there's so much kind of we lived so many years of Alex Ferguson dominating as the best manager in the
yeah,
country, in the world, probably. And it runs a long time to want to see him cut back down to size, and Man United fans get back in the box, doesn't it? So you do want to see that. I mean, like I say, as I say, I've been listening sort of through the wall. My family are all Man United fans. I don't know how I managed to save myself, but I did. Um, but yeah, I think you've got to think Man United can take down Wolves. You've got to if you believe at all in the fact they're rebuilding. And I mean, overall this season, let's face it, if they'd have won tonight, I know they haven't, but if they'd have won tonight, they'd have gone into fifth. So for all the mockery and the poor season vibes and these problems and that problems, they could have been sat fifth tonight. It's still a very very tight league. So I'm like say we'll see, but I think Man United will take them down.
yeah. Well, I just think it'll be funny if it happens. It's Monday Night Football, so we'll be on when it's being
We'll be
played
on when
out.
it's on.
So
But it better not be a goal fest then, because as much as I love seeing you lot's faces, I'd rather watch a goal fest. Thank you very much.
so yeah, but yeah. So that's our predictions for this weekend for game week 15. I can't believe we're already to
Tell us
game
what
week
you think.
15.
Are we talking absolute shite, or are we talking thing? If you think you know better than we do, find that code somewhere down there and join the fantasy football and prove it to us. But
Yeah,
I mean, I'm currently proving that I know shit all about individual players. But
mine's been like I've been clinging on to top spot for a while, and it's like I've been finally caught up, and it's the pressure's on. The pressure's on. Trying to get them transfers right just before the window shuts is deadly. it's intense. But yeah, join, guys. If you want to put your predictions in the chat as well, just put them in the comments box, and if see if you can outscore us, and yeah, see if someone can outscore us.
Well, if anybody's got a redeeming feature or comment about Tottenham, feel free to share it. I'm all ears. Do you know what I mean? Struggle to see it, but go for it.
Reece, thanks for your comments about Leeds. You're always welcome to comment. And well, yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. And we'll be back next week to review all our predictions. We're hopefully Nathan will be back. I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. Hopefully not much VAR, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, cheers, Phil, for tonight again. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And
Been a pleasure.
cheers, guys, for watching. It's been a great evening. Thank you.
Folks.